So what are you hearing from people, Mr. Vas, as you walk around?
I think the general sentiment is that it's time for a change.
Why?
Well, because I think people realize, well, one, I think people grow cynical about people being there too long, especially this particular administration that made promises that they're only going to run for 1 or 2 terms, and now they're going for their 4th term. And then they don't really want to run on their record. They want to run on what they're planning on doing. And there aren't a lot of other options because most of the people that are running at this point have all been a part of the last 12 years. So, not necessarily 12 years, but at least 10 years. You got one council person that's running that's been there for 10 years. You have one that's been there for 8 years and one that's been there for 4 years. And they've all, given or taken support from this administration, and they haven't offered any real solutions.
What are you offering, A? And B, I just heard you mention to a voter that the school is working hand in hand, or the schools are going to succeed only insofar as they have the support in local government. Could you address that?
The bottom line is that people in New Jersey recognize that property values are tied to a good school district. Perth Amboy right now, and I'll let the Board of Education candidate over here speak to that, but they're not meeting the standards that we need to have them meet. My understanding is that they're graduating 80% of the kids from the high school, but they're not meeting the minimum proficiency in either math or English. I think one's at like 34%, and the other one's at like 15%. And so, people from a municipal perspective, we got to be concerned about that because people do buy into Perth Amboy, and that's part of their quality of life. If they are not going to use the public school district and they're paying taxes, that is an issue. And taxes have gone up 40% in the last 12 years. As a private resident, I have filed nearly 1,000 tax appeals and successfully, reduced taxes for a significant portion of those 1,000 petitions. And so, I'm the only one that's really done something to reduce property taxes. And the overarching sentiment is that there is no plan. And so, it's not good enough to say, well, we're gonna reduce it without substantiating how. And so we got to get back to embracing redevelopment, putting positive ratables into this district, ones that we can manage, and that involves redevelopment in a town like Perth Amboy has very limited unimproved land in this community. So that is essential for us. The other thing is we got to look at our efficiency in government. And so we got to look at why have public employees grown up to 550? We're embracing tech. If we embrace technology, and I know they've embraced it in public works. They implemented these trucks that pick up the garbage cans, and so the question is, if we're supposedly getting more efficient because of this technology, why are we having growing employees? And that's not to say that that they're not necessary, but we definitely have to delve into where we're inefficient. Because if we run government like a business, then we can do a more productive job for our taxpayers, and we have to be considerate of that. And so that's what we're offering. We're offering to at least be cognizant of the issues and willing to talk about them and not to over politicize them, and just say, hey, listen, we have something to offer to the conversation. And so when we allow the same people to have the same conversation over and over again and get the same result, we have to consider offering new voices and new thought processes. So that's what we offer.